Channel 8's Matthew Mittlieder has more details in our top story tonight.
Friends, family, and local law enforcement are all searching for 35-year-old Tyler Goodrich, who's been missing since last week.
Several rural fire departments got together on Saturday to burn down a house just southeast of Lincoln. It's all part of a training exercise meant to give firefighters experience with a real burning building.
Former Husker player Des Moines Adams says his life was saved one night after his wife and a 911 dispatcher worked together to give him CPR. Lincoln police say thousands of dollars worth of damage has been done to mailboxes just like this one across the city. The snow finally made it to Lincoln Sunday night, giving us a white Christmas here in the capital city. Officials say they're working hard to keep the roads clear. The training consisted of going inside the house and burning smaller materials before applying water. Over half a dozen fire departments from across southeast Nebraska got to take a turn before the building was torched from the top down.
You know, this is invaluable for what these guys get to practice and do. I mean, they'll lose the visibility in there. You know, this isn't a campfire, so eventually they're going to go in this house and nobody will be able to see anything, and that's pretty important.
Firefighters said it was great practice for how hard it can be to navigate inside a burning building.
This is amazing practice.
When you're inside, I couldn't see this far apart. It was just real thick white smoke.
We don't ever get to work with them very many since you only do like one or two every couple years, so
it's great that people donate places like this.
The property was donated by Monty Freilich, who says the home was built in the 1920s and would have been too difficult and costly to renovate. He thought it would be put to better use if rural fire departments had it for training.
I think initially they were planning on 30 firefighters being here, and there's closer to 60, and so I think firefighters from as far as 2 hours away have come to just get some practice.
Officials say they don't get very many of these houses to work with anymore, and many departments will instead use burn boxes made of metal storage containers. But having a real structure to work with gives them a better idea of how buildings will burn.
I think the best thing is the awareness that these guys understand what they're going into. It's a skill for these firefighters to go into places that other people are running out of.
I don't know what makes someone do something like that. I guess Nebraska's the new Florida. I'm going to start seeing Nebraska Man headlines everywhere.
Lincoln police say a man behind the wheel of a Bobcat skid loader damaged a number of vehicles on Sunday afternoon, including a police cruiser. Officials tell us that 36-year-old Samuel Payrot of Lincoln had transported the skid loader, which was owned by his employer, to the U-stop near 73rd and Pine Lake Road, using a company-owned truck. Then at around 2:30 p.m., authorities say Payrot was driving recklessly around several parking lots in the area, before police eventually confronted him at the Home Depot nearby. One witness, Zachary Martin, says he was headed to Home Depot to pick up a few things, and stopped to watch it all go down.
I seen Dodge Ram, front bumper on the bucket up in the air, and I'm thinking, you know, this dude, he must have stole something in the Dodge Ram. That's probably the snow removal guys that got yelled at by loss prevention, whatnot, to, hey, stop that truck or something.
According to Martin, that's when he went up to the skid loader to see if the suspect needed any help. But when the driver opened the door,
he just, Home Depot stole from me, wham. Okay, buddy.
Martin says he then got out a pocket knife and attempted to cut the hydraulic lines on the skid loader to put an end to the situation.
Only thing going through my head is, someone's got to stop this. Like, there is a Home Depot full of contractors, big burly dudes twice my size. Like, come on now, y'all. Exposed hydraulic lines. Go get a bolt cutter from aisle 5. I shouldn't be the one that's having to do it. You know what? Screw it.
But Martin says he wasn't able to cut the lines and had to back off for his own safety. Police say Payrot hit several vehicles and buildings before eventually ramming into an LPD cruiser. Officials say one person did have minor injuries after having their car struck. Payrot finally gave up after officers drew their firearms and gave him commands to get out of the skid loader. He was then arrested on suspicion of second-degree assault and criminal mischief. No shots were fired during the incident.
The cops finally, got him out of the Mini, got him on the ground. They were dogpiling on him. I'm happy I made it home safe at the end of the day.
Police don't yet know the total cost of the damage, but say the investigation is ongoing. Lancaster County's Chief Deputy Ben Houchin said Goodrich was last seen around 7:45 on Friday, November 3rd, at his home near Southwest 12th and Burnham Streets. Around that time, deputies were sent to the home on a report of a disturbance. By the time they arrived, Goodrich had left. Deputies then spoke with Goodrich's husband, Marshall Vogel, and left the home since there was no evidence of crime. But the next morning, Vogel called the sheriff's office to report Goodrich hadn't come home and was missing.
The reason we are so concerned is he has gone off the grid. We do not have any information. His phone is not on. Everything's open at this point in time. On what happens, we do not know.
Tyler is about 6'2", has red hair, and weighs around 180 pounds. He was wearing all gray, and his Samsung flip phone was last pinged in the area of Southwest 13th and Van Dorn. Tyler's friends and family say he was an avid runner who would frequently run on these trails nearby his home. I joined up with several of them who were out searching for him on Monday.
He's just like the greatest person, and I can't imagine what his kids are feeling right now, because I know how I feel as a friend. I just hope that, you know, as a community, we can come together and find him, because I just think, like, what if that was your brother? What would you do?
His loved ones have also made a Facebook page called Let's Find Tyler Goodrich, which gained over 3,000 new members in about a day. Lonnie Goodrich, Tyler's father, says he can't thank everyone enough for all the support in the search.
All the thoughts, all the well wishes, all the prayers that we have received, it's almost overwhelming how much support there is. Tyler's very well liked. He's a wonderful human being. There isn't anybody that isn't of the same mind of when they talk about Tyler. We need to bring Tyler home.
Friends, family, and advocates all attended the vigil for Cecilia Perez. Her aunt, Dawn Van Sloan, says she was a loving person, always looking out for her family.
Cecilia was a character, and everywhere she went, that her laughter, her laugh, it was like this cackle. You could tell when she was up to something. She just had this laugh.
She raised all of us. She raised my niece. She raised all of her kids. And she did a damn good job. She did so good.
Van Sloan says this isn't the first time their family has lost someone to domestic violence.
Both my mother and my great-grandmother were trapped in their relationships. They had nowhere to go in their minds, no one to help them, and that's not the case. We need to stop the vicious cycle of trauma.
It was very hard going through the prison system with autism. As I got out, it was finding really difficult with the autism and the record, it's like I can't find any jobs. No one's really taking that risk.
Then he heard about Ybor, a job willing to give him a second chance making hot-pressed Cuban sandwiches. But it's more than that. The program also provides culinary training and coaching to prepare workers for the future.
I'm like, this is a godsend, this is a blessing. Like, this is something that I've been really looking for because I was in a really bad spot.
Executive Director Bill Radke says last year Nebraska had one of the most overcrowded prison systems in the country. He says this program takes the abundance of workers ready to re-enter society and gives them stability.
Right now, sometimes people who are navigating re-entry, they're constantly labeled a felon. When you apply for jobs, you have to say you're a felon. Housing, you're a felon. And for us, we want to give a new title to someone, and that's chef. And so for us, we call everyone in our kitchen chef.
Radke wants to help reduce recidivism, which is the tendency for those who have been incarcerated to end up back in the criminal justice system. Last week, Assistant Police Chief Jason Stilley said investigators are still tracking down witnesses and any high-quality video they can find. But little sister, Kalana Taylor, says they should have enough by now.
I'm very angry about it, and the last time that the detectives talked to my mom was last Thursday. I don't know what's taking so long. The evidence is there. We have a lot of videos they have, and it shows he murdered my brother. No self-defense or anything. It happened so fast, but I watched the videos, and like you could see in the video. Yeah.
The family has put out posters with Little's picture and name to spread the word. They also put up a memorial outside the bar, which the family visits multiple times a day.
I mean, I've seen all the videos I need to see. I've seen from behind, I've seen from the front, I've seen from the sides, I've seen every single video there is to see. And at the end of the day, my brother got shot. I just feel like it's being prolonged at this point. You know, if anyone could do anything, do it. You know, the more time it takes, the more time I had to think about whatever the situation is. It's crazy. At that point, it's just crazy.
Reporting in Lincoln, Matthew.mittlieder, Channel 8 News.